On Thursday, March the 6th, the Arkansas Tech University Department of Music will present a performance at Crystal Bridges in Bentonville. It will begin at 7:30 p.m. And today we get the privilege of visiting with Dr. Daniel A. Belongia, Professor of Music and Director of Bands, about this upcoming opportunity. And Dr. Belongia, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. And if you could just share with us a little bit about how this awesome opportunity came about.
You bet. Well, you're welcome, and thanks for having me, Sam. Our dear friend, Dr. Becky Calloway, is passionate about the arts. She always has been, and very, very, very generous. And she's assisted in so many different ways over the years. Most recently, supported our program at the Clinton Center in Little Rock last year. We had such a good time after the dust had settled a bit. Dr. Calloway asked me, do you want to spend some more of my money? And she knows the answer, of course, is absolutely yes. And we depend on those incredible friends and donors. And Dr. Calloway's idea, she was excited about Northwest Arkansas this time, and Crystal Bridges in particular. And so we're very fortunate that we got a date up there that works for everybody, and we're excited about putting on the program.
If you could tell us a little bit about the pieces and some of the different performing groups we can expect to see on March the 6th.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to do that, because this is very unlike anything in my 10 years here at Tech and previous to that in my career. We've had lots of fun band concerts. We've had lots of fun choir concerts. We've had engaging and profound chamber music concerts. We've had beautiful faculty recitals. We've had beautiful student recitals. This event is going to be a combination of all of those things. The choral artists, Dr. Rohr's wonderful group, is going to be the centerpiece on the 6th. The Great Hall at Crystal Bridges is a beautiful space. It's tall glass, polished wood, a lovely place for a choir to sing, a little loud for a band. So if I brought the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, we might have friends and family smiling while they said, reached for a little ear protection, and I might be with them as well. So it's a beautiful place to be. Not the greatest acoustic space for a full 51-piece concert band. The 29 singers and the choral artists are going to sound like liquid gold. Just going to sound beautiful. So what we've done is we've built a program around the choral artists with contributions from faculty in the instrumental side, Dr. Corey Fika, Dr. Phoebe Robertson, Dr. Nick Delgrazia, Professor Bobo, Dr. Nate Mensink are all participating in one way or another as chamber soloists with choral artists. I'm really looking forward to my first opportunity to ever conduct the choral artists because Dr. Fika, as percussionist, and Dr. Delgrazia as clarinetist are collaborating with me on a piece by our dear friend Dr. Maslanka for SATB choir and solo clarinet, solo vibraphone. So it's a combination between the student singers and faculty soloists. Dr. Rohr is going to conduct a piece written for woodwind quintet at professional level and the SATB choir. And that's where Dr. Robertson, Dr. Mensink, Dr. Delgrazia, Professor Mino, and Professor Bobo are going to perform with faculty as faculty soloists with the students in the choir. Out of the 51 members of the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, there are almost endless permutations of different smaller superpower groups. The 51-piece Symphonic Wind Ensemble includes a 4-piece saxophone quartet, always in the instrumentation, alto 1, alto 2, tenor saxophone, and baritone saxophone. Well, of course, that quartet exists on its own and can perform on its own, and will on March 6th. The trombone section has a trombone quartet. It's going to stand out and perform as a trombone quartet, a horn quartet, student woodwind quintet, student brass quintet, student percussion quartet. So out of the big 51-piece group, there are going to be these performances of the smaller chamber groups from the greater whole, and those smaller groups will sound awesome in that space. So we were able to sort of create a way that it is members of the Symphonic Wind Ensemble in collaboration with the choral artists and faculty soloists.
Due to the nature of the program and how distinctive it is, and certainly how distinctive this venue is, how do you feel like this experience will benefit your students?
Well, like all these experiences, you don't know. You plant seeds, and I hope for them. It's exciting. I know that in my undergraduate time and my graduate experiences as well, anytime I got to get on the road, it felt special. Yeah, there's a field trip. There's just something about getting on a bus and being with your close colleagues and having the opportunity to perform. We're here in this space that we've used with lots of different podcasts, and I see the football helmet behind you. I don't imagine a lot of football players join the team because they couldn't wait to practice. And band students the same way. Very rarely do they join band because they couldn't wait to be alone and practice. Now, just like the football team, you got to put in the work. And but when we get to go on the road and we get to put on some ATU attire and we get to perform for people, well, that's what a musician wants to do, like it's what an athlete wants to do. So I believe, in the acute, they're excited about that, and it's always wonderful when we get to interact with our alumni and our community to remind all of us, because all of us, you and I included, we're in the grind. And we can get fixated on the challenges that are right in front of us and occasionally forget how fortunate we are and forget how special these opportunities are until we're in an acute situation where we're reminded and we get to look around. And I think that evening has this potential where I know our alumni are going to come out and support us, and they're going to remind these students whose shoulders they're standing on. And they can share stories of when they went on the road, stories I know you've heard many times when you visit with our alumni, and they light up. They still want to talk about that time when the bus broke down and we had to get off the bus and push it down to the nearest filling station. And we went to that church in South Arkansas. We played and we moved these people, and they told us how they'd never heard music like this before. We're very fortunate that we get to do this regularly. Last semester we went on the road. And when we were on the road at Fort Smith Southside High School, one of our very, very prominent alums, Ralph Brody, is director of bands there, he shared with the students that he ended up coming to Tech in part because a Tech jazz band came to Lavaca, and he was in the band at Lavaca, and he hadn't heard sounds like that before, and he didn't know that was possible. And then he got to visit with Gary Barrow, and he got to visit with Hal Cooper, and they told him about his opportunities at Tech, and they changed his life, like this place does for so many people for so many years. And I believe and hope that our students will have a rewarding musical experience on this tour. They'll have some fun with their friends, and then long term, we hope and we watch for what kind of impact it can have on them as they move forward, because it's always long term.
And just to accentuate something you've mentioned there, every great performance needs a great audience. And we definitely want to invite everybody who has an affiliation with Arkansas Tech. Maybe if you're running across this video and you've never heard of Arkansas Tech before, whatever your level of association with ATU is, we definitely want to invite everybody who can get to Crystal Bridges on March the 6th at 7:30 to come out and enjoy this show.
Yes, sir. And very grateful, no charge, in collaboration with the assistance, again, generosity of Dr. Calloway and the good folks at Crystal Bridges. So absolutely free and open to the public.
It is Arkansas Tech University Music at Crystal Bridges coming up at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, March the 6th. Crystal Bridges is located at 600 Museum Way in Bentonville, and we'll see you there.